Yo guys, sorry you already know that today I'm going to be recapping week 5 of my 2025 video game backlog journey. Link in the description if you need the full explanation of this list and the series. But yes, I've been doing this for 5 weeks now, which is weird because I feel like I thought it was only 4 weeks. I'm like, oh, I'm only hitting a month, I'm doing good. But 5 weeks, that's a little over a month, so that is interesting. Because I was about to say that I have cleared out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games in a month. And with that pace, that's pretty good because I have 59 games because that first column is for, or that first row is for that. So it was 59 games. 6 games a month puts me at on pace. But I don't love the pace that I'm going at. Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna break it down. I'm gonna recap the last week, how that went for me. I'll go in depth about the games that I'm playing. Just give an update on like where I'm at, any changes of opinions, and then I will preview what I think the next week is going to look like. Yeah, there's not too many like major events for this past week. Also, I'm going to be kind of like rushing this video a little bit. I assume this will be shorter because I have plans that I need to get to in about 30 minutes. So I don't really have time to talk too much, but I want to keep the consistent once a week recording of this. So yeah. Just to recap everybody, last time I started playing Psychonauts, Ghost of Tsushima, as well as Fire Emblem Fates Birthright. And I'm still playing all 3 of those games, and I have not completed any of those games. This was my first time really balancing multiple different games as a result of some of them being a little bit longer of games. And so I wanted, I don't want to sit in one seat, play for like 10 hours and, whatever. I need some change of pace and all that sort of stuff. It's been working out pretty well. It does take a little bit of self-control because I have noticed a couple of times where I will go 2 to 3 days without playing a specific game. And so I sort of have to will myself to turn on specific games. For example, let's say like Saturday or something, I played Psychonauts, and then Sunday I didn't, and then Monday I didn't play any video games because I was busy, and then Tuesday I play like Ghost of Tsushima and like Fire Emblem, whatever. That sort of thing, and then 3-4 days go by where I'm not playing one of those games, and so I've sort of made it a mental thing that if I've noticed that like 2 or 3 days has gone by that I haven't played one of the games that's on my list, I need to put some time into that. It doesn't need to be a lot, but I do have to make sure that I put myself to the console, turn it on, put some amount of time into it. It doesn't matter how much, just a little bit. There's a YouTuber that I watch called Totally Tubular Jonathan, who makes a yearly video about backlog stuff, which I didn't even know until I saw his video on that this year, which was a few weeks ago at this point, maybe even a whole month ago. And one of the things he said that stuck out to me is he has a lot more time on his hands, I assume, because he'll balance like 10 games at a time on his backlog. And the main point that he said was making sure that you put some time into each of the games that you're playing at least about once a week. Because I definitely did catch myself playing, specifically I think this is happening with Ghost of Tsushima, where it feels like it's going to be such a long journey and a long game, and I'm absolutely loving it, but I do like playing in short spurts, and sometimes I will get more focused on, let me put some more time into Psychonauts, I'm going to finish that first, let me put some time into this, and I'll push the game off for later, and what that has resulted in the past, like why some of these games are on this list to begin with, is because I will push off some of these games. A couple weeks will go by, and then I just don't have the drive to go back to it. But if I am consistent with making sure that I turn on the game and put some amount of progress, every couple days, then we should avoid that, and that is the goal. So that is what I am going to continue to do. So I did not fully start any new games, but I did want to bring up one thing that I am going to put onto the new games list. There's a game called Eternal Strands that came out on the 28th. And that was on Game Pass. I should have the formatting. I'll make sure to sort of get all the formatting for this the same way that it is over here. That is on Game Pass, and because it's on Game Pass, I was like, I will check it out to see if it seems any fun. I played maybe like 30 minutes. I'll put that I have like 1 hour like played. I'll reformat it later to make it look better. Yeah, it's like a third-person action game. I think its main gimmick is this magic stuff for this weave. I actually already forget what it's called. That gives you these unique like abilities. You get 2 to start with, and then there's slots for more of them that I'm sure you'll unlock throughout the game. with a really cool art style and really cool characters. I'm not going to explain that much on it. I didn't even get any gameplay footage recorded, so I'm not really going to talk about it this week. But I just turned it on just to see if it's something I do want to play, and I do want to play it. I probably won't put that much time into it until I knock out one of these games. So, but I just wanted to bring that up, that I did technically turn it on and played like the prologue of it. But yeah, that was another thing I want to bring up is I found that I think my least favorite part of this whole journey is getting footage for the games. And I know that I'm not like required to do it. I could just talk about whatever over a spreadsheet the whole time, and that's perfectly fine. But I am kind of half committed to this idea of like ranking all these games at the end of the year, and that is kind of giving me even more motivation to try and like finish all these games. But if I'm going to use the footage for then, I might as well get it now while I'm playing it. You know what I mean? But sometimes I'd like something about that extra, like, you know, bringing up the recording thing and like having to sit in my computer chair to say it to play it is like, it's just a different vibe, and it's like not my favorite thing. Gathering footage for these games is not my favorite thing. But it's fine. I will survive. But yeah, there's going to be no new footage, so I'll just replay the footage that I had for last week. So let's go ahead and dive into each individual game to update my experiences with them. I'll start with Psychonauts because I don't really have a ton to say. I think Psychonauts is, you know, it's still really fun. I believed going in, I sort of expected it to be like a, you know, 3D platformer type thing, and it is, but I feel like it's less focused on the platforming and more focused on like the story and the world and like the charm and like the abilities and a little bit of combat. I faced a couple bosses, and I feel like I don't love the combat when it comes to the bosses. But you know, the world and the charm is still absolutely there. I don't feel like this is a game that I'm going to go out of my way to get like extra collectibles and stuff like that. So I feel like I'm definitely going to go hit the under for the 16 hours that's listed on the spreadsheet. That is just a guess. But I've made some pretty good progress, and I would say that it's a pretty solid game. It's not my favorite. I haven't really come anywhere close to being like, oh, I don't think I want to keep playing this. So it's a good time. I have no idea how much longer I have in the game. But, you know, that is what it is. I don't really have any significant things to say about that. I also don't have anything super significant to say about Ghost of Tsushima. It is a fantastic game, and it is actually a game that I'm probably going to hit the over for the hours, because I am taking my time and really just enjoying like every little thing. I'm doing like every side quest available. I'm doing every like shrine, every fox den, everything that I see, everything that I like come across, I'm doing. And I'm not really all that fast at it. The combat's really fun. The world is fun. The characters are good. And I'm just really enjoying my time. So even though it's a lot of repetitive stuff, I'm not getting bored of it, and I'm still enjoying it. So I feel like I haven't made a ton of like main quest progress. There's just like a lot of side stuff, and I'm going to continue to keep trying to do the side stuff. Right now I'm still sort of recruiting people to be at my side. I'm assuming like the first major thing is like recruiting people to your side and then going to like rescue your uncle, and then something probably happens after that. I don't really know, because I think that's sort of the main thing that I'm building towards, but I don't want to like accidentally get to that main quest before I've like done the side stuff before, because I don't know if I'm gonna get cut off or anything. But yeah, so I'm just enjoying that. It's very easy for me to just boot up the game, you know, knock out a few quests, play for like an hour, and then move on to something else. So I probably will be doing that for a while. So I assume it's going to take me a while to finish, but I'm still absolutely loving the game. And the final game that I would like to talk about, and sort of the biggest surprise of the week, is Fire Emblem Fates Birthright. I guess I sort of forgot how much I really enjoy Fire Emblem, and I feel like to me, Fire Emblem is kind of like pizza, where it's just like, you can't really like, you know, like even bad pizza is like good food, right? Like unless you burn it. And I feel like the similar thing kind of applies to Birthright, where I was kind of sold that it was like a bad game. And I don't even know if I believe that, but I don't know if it's just the Fire Emblem or if like Fates is like actually something I really am just, you know, vibing with. It is, you know, really good, and probably the game that I put in the most amount of hours this week, so that has been fun. I feel like I was also like led to believe that it's like a super easy game, and maybe it is once you like know everything, but I've definitely had my struggles. I've had to restart a few chapters, and specifically right now I'm actually stuck on chapter 10, to where I am grinding on some of the auxiliary battles to get my units a little bit better and more well prepared. I am playing on hard mode, and maybe I'm not using the optimal units because I'm just kind of using who I like. So there is that, but yeah. that is interesting. I feel like I am going to end up coming out of this with a higher opinion than most people, mostly because I don't really care about video game stories all that much. I feel like the quality of the story, I can already see like it's probably not, you know, anything too crazy, but and Fates definitely has like this sort of like anime characterization of the characters that I feel like people complain about compared to older Fire Emblem games, but like that doesn't really bother me. I kind of like that stuff. And other things that Birthright has going for it is like no weapon durability. I think is fun. I don't need to worry about, you know, managing that, which I mean I like both systems, like having weapon durability and then not having it. So it's kind of a win-win either way, but it does, you know, it does sort of put the focus more on just finding ways to improve my current weapons instead of worrying about, like, you know, getting stronger weapons and then having limited uses on them. So it's just a different style that I do think vibes with what Fates does. So yeah, the other thing is Corrin. I actually really like Corrin as in terms of like a main character avatar figure. Corrin is probably my favorite already, just because they make like, I don't know, these like really like funny quips just like randomly. Like there was one time like we just got somewhere and then like a battle started and there's like, we've literally just been here 5 minutes, and I don't know, something like that. I just don't feel, it was like the delivery that I don't feel like I would, you know, hear other Fire Emblem games, and like Corrin like consistently brings stuff like that. So I'm excited to make more progress. Hopefully I can get past chapter 10 and then, you know, I'll keep on keeping on. I'm pretty sure there are 26 or 27 chapters, and that does not include like paralogs and whatnot. And obviously, like I said, I'm doing extra battles to like grind my units as well. So I know I'm like not halfway there, but I have been consistently putting time in. Picking up the 3DS is like, I forgot how much fun a 3DS is, and I might want to consider playing more 3DS games in the future now that I have one. I'm like, you know, this is really good. So we'll see. But obviously that has nothing to do with the backlog list for this year. But hey, if I have a working 3DS, maybe I should start playing more games on it. Is all I'm saying, because it is a good system to play, I feel. But I think that's all I have to say on the 3 games that I have played. Like I said, I'm not really going to bring up Eternal Strands. I think that's the name of the game. I'm pretty sure it is. I will get some footage for it the next time I play. So if it's over the next week, then I'll bring it up next week. If I don't really play it until sometime after that, then we'll talk about it when it comes out. So, yeah. Now I guess I'll transition into what I expect for the next week, which is more of the same. I do definitely have a ton of free time this weekend. None of my friends or anybody is like free. I have literally no plans. I'm gonna do some like stuff around the house, and whatnot. But like I think I want to put in a lot of time into the backlog games here, because I feel like I didn't put enough time in this past week. So I really want to, specifically Saturday and Sunday, just knock out like a whole bunch of hours from these. So that is sort of the plan. I really do kind of want to focus a little bit on Psychonauts. I do think that I will be able to finish that. And if I finish that, then I'll probably put some time into Eternal Strands. So that would be nice. I don't want too many new games to come out and like overwhelm me. I don't believe there's any new games coming out that I care about until February 14th. And we'll talk more about that when it actually comes out. And then I'm pretty sure I'm kind of chilling until like March and then April. Once it starts getting to March, April, that's when a lot of games start coming out, and I really need to try and knock out as much of this before all those new games kind of start overwhelming me. So yeah, but we won't have to worry about that for this next week. But yeah, I imagine I can knock out Psychonauts and, you know, make some progress in the other games. I don't see myself starting a new game, but there is a chance that if I don't feel like playing Eternal Strands and I'm already done with Psychonauts, then there's a chance that I boot up like Hot Wheels Unleashed 2 or something like that, because, you know, that's, I assume that doesn't even have a story mode, so I'm not even sure how there's a playtime for it. But, you know, that might be something that I boot up just as like a something, change of pace, something new. But outside of that, I don't see myself starting any other games, but we shall see. I could make a ton of progress in Birthright and then decide to set that to the side, play something. I don't really know. But that is sort of my expectations. So, yeah, this upcoming week is going to be the 6th week, and that is cool. As long, like, I'm still in single digits, that's fine. Like, there's still a lot of weeks left, because I'm really not sure if I'm like on a good pace or not, just based on like how many games are still left and how many hours some of them take. So, I definitely want to get cracking really focus, and my motivation is still very high. So I think that's going to wrap it up. If there's any questions you have for me based on, any other, mental things that you want to know what I'm going through, or whatever questions you have about anything, feel free to leave them in the comments. It has been really cool to see that people are still interested in this weekly update series. And, yeah, let me know, your feelings on any of the games that I've been playing. And, that's any and everything. I don't really have anything else. So I'm going to go ahead and get out of here, and I will see you next week. Goodbye.